about hiring. So some people have this company going with 1, 2, 3, 4 employees, and then at a certain point they have to shift something, and the hard decisions need to take place. What's your take on that?
Hiring is probably the most challenging thing a CEO of a young company will have to do. It's incredibly hard to hire for a small company because you don't have the money to compete for the talent with the larger guys. So you need to sell this dream of yours to other people.
That's the only way to bring them in.
That's
right?
the only way to bring them in. In our case, we've tried two different mechanisms, both with a fair amount of success. One was luck.
Beginner's luck.
Beginner's luck. I mean, the first guy that came to work with me was the classic university friend, who grew into an amazing head of product. But at the time he came, nobody knew exactly what each other were doing. We were working on the product together, we work on sales together, we work on everything together. But he became an amazing head of product. The first true sales guy that we hired actually came to us. He was someone that sold us a project in the past from other tech company, and he liked the company and the idea so much that he came, asked if we wanted to hire him, and obviously we said yes. Then we had very tough time recruiting our first CTO. We made a terrible mess with that process. That happened while we were doing the Techstars program in Berlin. Which meant that it was a big eye opener for us. We recruited someone. I didn't interview him personally because I was in Berlin. I interviewed him by phone only. And now looking back, we saw a lot of red flags during that process. But because we really needed a CTO, because we let all the time pass without taking the decision and working the process, we really needed someone to take over the tech part from the provider that we had, the third-party provider that we had at the time. And that guy was available. His curriculum was impeccable. So his technical credentials were perfect, but he clearly didn't fit the culture. He was a guy who had experience working with startups in Berlin, in London. Well, startups. I would say when we're considering, rocket internet company startups, or we're considering, I think it was Bet and Click where he worked, or some Betfair, some other betting company with 500 people. They're not really startups anymore. But this guy had never been the CTO of anything. He was a team leader. He was responsible for a small part of the product, but he never was the person responsible to deliver that product. And he lasted about 2 months, and he quit by email. So after working for 24 hours straight to get our product on AWS at the time, he finished that terribly, and he quit by email the next day. And we were left running a company with 2 junior Java resources, no CTO, and the product which was full of holes because of all the development processes.
What was the big lesson there?
The big lesson there is always hire for culture. Always understand that the person you're hiring will have to fit with the company and has to fit with the role you're hiring him from. As I said in the beginning, it's hard for a small company to go out and hire a CTO of a larger company. Most people won't take that step. So either you have someone on your founding team who is the CTO because he is doing that since the beginning, and you're lucky enough that he actually grows into a CTO, because having a great developer is not the same thing as having a great CTO. But always look for a cultural fit. If the guy cannot handle stress, he might be the best technical guy, but he could never be an executive or a leader. If he cannot handle the pressure of being the owner of something, and the guy clients call when the product has a problem, then he cannot be the CTO. He might be a great team leader, but he will never be the leader of the technology part of the company. See, and when I say CTO, you can replace CTO by head of sales or COO, etc. He will never be a C-level executive because he cannot handle the pressure. And if he's not aligned with the way people like to work at your company, especially if he's coming on a later stage when there's already a team, you'll just be managing conflicts 24/7. So make sure you hire for culture. Again, the guys at Techstars were very helpful with that. Our first process or true process to hire CTO resulted in a guy who has been with us for the last 3 years and has been an amazing fit for the job.